There's a question nobody is asking. Why was CNN so quick to turn on Joe Biden after the Afghanistan debacle? Well, it's real simple. He broke one of their fundamental rules. In today's video, I'm going to break this down for you, and once you see it, you're not going to be able to unsee it. Joe Biden was this guy to the liberals. Remember all the talk of adults are in charge now and professionals are back and America's back and all this? I've used this analogy multiple times before, but once again, it applies. They live in this Star Trekian world where they think they're right and everybody else is wrong, and it's their job to just kind of slow walk everyone into the truth. It's this white savior complex. Here's a screenshot of a page that they put up recently after all this fell apart. Biden points the finger at others for the unfolding crisis, and across the whole page, they are just taking this guy down. Why did that happen so fast? Because you see, they see themselves as the saviors of the world and the saviors of the planet and the saviors of everyone who don't agree with them. See, we're just a bunch of dumb bunnies who just haven't realized how smart they are yet. And they just need to kind of slow walk and guide us along condescendingly. I know this is usually reserved for a lot of liberal talking point, but this is exactly right. This white savior complex thing, this whole abandoning of Afghanistan. You see, this guy was supposed to save them from the Taliban. He was supposed to be the great knight in shining armor that's going to ride in and fix everything. And this even applies to personal relationships. And I know a lot of you out there have been through this and have seen this, and it's nauseating. The paradox of the savior complex is that troubled, in this case, where they're talking about lovers, but people in general, seem to be weak and helpless, and yet they call the shots in the relationship. By the same token, the person doing the saving, who seems to be in control, are being totally manipulated and drained by this other person's neediness for whatever reason. You see, that's what's going on with the Afghan refugees right now. You see, they're the needy ones who are calling the shots and saying, oh, please save us and bring us here. Not one should come here. Not one. Not sure if I'm sincerely devoted to helping others or just embracing my narcissistic streak of savior complex. This is one of my favorites because I really liked Game of Thrones. In this particular case, they're talking about whiteness, but it's convinced you that your presence in another country is inherently helpful, but someone has the audacity to ask what your qualifications are and why you think you can solve problems abroad that you have no idea how to solve in your own country. This perfectly applies to Afghanistan. We shouldn't have been there in the first place. The Afghanis can fix their own problems, or they can just perish. But Maki, you don't understand. There's no way to win against the Taliban. Really? Really? It's our job to be the knight in shining armor to go run in there and fix their problem for them. And oh, by the way, where is it? Here it is. Resistance forces capture 3 districts in Afghanistan. Several Taliban fighters killed. Report. 20 August 2021. Guess what? When they fight back, they can win. When they fight back, they can win. The Maquis, did they run when the Germans occupied Paris? No. They stayed and they fought. And many of them died. How does this ever work out? Guys especially. How does this ever work out, this whole knight in shining armor routine? And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I know you guys have either done it or you know somebody who's done it, and it's just ugly. Let me ask you a question. You want to bring these Afghanis here? If they won't fight for their country, what makes you think they'll fight for ours? If they won't fight for their country, what makes you think, if it was ever necessary, that they would fight for ours or for our freedom? See, this whole idea, well, we were their translators and we saved their life. No, we were there bailing out your problem. The least you could do was be a translator. The least you could do. And there's even some people, lest anybody think I'm picking on just Democrats, inside the Republican Party that have this same savior complex, where they think it's their job to go save people. But this is what really pissed off CNN, because they had to let go of their white savior complex. And I'm sorry for those of you out there that think that this is not right. It's exactly right. It is exactly right, this liberal idea. And it's really rooted in liberalism. It's very prevalent on the West Coast and up in the Northeast. See, down here in Florida, it's like, if you screw up, sorry for your luck. Not my job to save you. Not my job to fix your problem. Dig yourself out of your own hole or just sit down there and rot. Not my job. You made your bed, you lay in it. They think they had Captain Picard, and now he has blown it for them. They no longer have this thing to hold on to. This idea of moral superiority. It's totally gone. And the Afghanis are trying to take advantage of this. People having a victim complex are not apt to count on themselves in dealing with problems, and they tend to wait for a savior. And we've had one person here in Florida that's actually stepped up and said something. A congressional candidate, Laverne Spicer, that the U.S. should turn away Afghan refugees. Absolutely right. Fix your own country. Fight for your own country or die for your own country, just like we did in this one. Apparently, we must have missed educating the Afghanis about the history of America and what it takes. What was it, 3%? 3% of the colonists in 1776 and prior decided to fight against the British Crown. That's all it took. Her quote, not one refugee from Afghanistan needs to come to our country, not one. Call Qatar, call the UAE, call Saudi Arabia, call Egypt. The U.S. and Europe took all the Syrian refugees we can't do anymore. America first means American first. Laverne Spicer, well said. Not our mess, not our problem. And the reason CNN has had this epiphany moment is not because they're against interventionism. It's that they've gotten their bloom taken off the rose. Their little, what's the word I'm looking for? Delusion about what Biden was destroyed. We do have leadership options, though. Marjorie Taylor Greene needs to be the governor of Georgia. Not the rep in D.C. She needs to be the governor of Georgia, full stop. Calling it right now. A few hours ago, she puts out a tweet. Many want to impeach Biden but are hesitant because they fear a Kamala presidency. There's nothing to fear. She's worse in every way than Biden, and Dems don't like her. Expose her and expose the entire Democrat Party for who they are. The people need to see for themselves. Truth wins. Georgia, you have a cowardice problem. And it's named Brian Kemp. And he needs to go because he's welcoming these cowards from Afghanistan. And yeah, they're cowards. I don't care if they helped us or not. That was, once again, the least they could do for us fixing their problem. This needs to be your governor. Full stop. And also, to address a question real quick about Governor DeSantis. Some people say Florida Maquis, even if he wins his governor's race at the end of 2025, he'll be term limited out. What then? Florida has a deep bench of conservatives, and I'm just going to go over a few of them. The heir apparent, Jeanette Nunez, would be an excellent choice. In many ways, she's actually more conservative than Governor DeSantis. Mike Waltz, full disclosure, my rep in D.C., Volusia and Flagler County, first and only Green Beret in Congress, actually served in Afghanistan, would be an excellent choice for governor. I'm sure many of you know who this is. Former Attorney General, State of Florida, Pam Bondi. This image is from the events of November to January of this past year. Another great candidate, super conservative candidate, that could easily govern the state of Florida. Or Byron Donalds, another representative from Florida. I believe the Naples area, Southwest Florida, is where he represents. So we have a bench that goes way deep. And North Carolina, by the way, and this is, by the way, also for you ladies that say I never show any guys with their shirt off, all the girls in bikinis, blah, 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 blah. Madison Cawthorn should be your governor, not this coward, Chicken Cooper. Double masking Chicken Cooper needs to go in North Carolina. And if you can't get behind this guy because you think maybe he's too young, I mean, he did get elected to Congress, was in the Navy. How about this person? See on the left in the teal with the orange shoes? That's Lara Trump. And what she's doing there, that's no joke. I know a lot of people see Marjorie Taylor Greene as this, CrossFitter and big and strong and all this. I bet Lara Trump could keep up with her. Because what they're doing there is not easy at all. And she's a North Carolina native. So anyway, I just wanted to cover this for you guys and go through all this about what's really happening with the left. They have lost their Captain Picard. They have lost their white saviorism. And they don't know how to replace it. And I'll leave it there. That moral superiority complex, once people emotionally invest in it, when you take it away from them, they just are lost right now. They are totally lost, and they don't even know what to do. Captain Picard has failed. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. And we will see you guys tonight on Twitch.